Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm really excited because guess what? My twins are completely sleep trained and have been for almost 2 months. My twins are currently about to be 8 months old next week. And you know what? Twins, babies, kids in general are expensive. And I'm here to share my tips and my tricks and things I've learned from programs I've bought so that you don't have to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars sleep training your kids, because who needs to pay all that money just to get some sleep? Doesn't seem fair. So let's just jump right into the video. The first thing I want to say, first and foremost, is that the two people I got all of my inspo and most of my tips and tricks from are Taking Care of Babies and The Peaceful Sleeper on Instagram. I'll put both their handles right here. They're amazing mamas. They're always posting on Instagram stories. They have a bunch of links and stories dedicated to sleep training. So if you want more in-depth stuff, or you have little questions or little tweaks you need to do for your kid, because every baby is different, definitely go check those out. I love watching their stories, especially Taking Care of Babies. Her voice is just so soothing and it just makes you, I don't know, she's super mom positive. She never shames anybody for what they do for sleeping. They are just wonderful mamas, so go check them out and let's get on to it. So most of the stuff I read said that you should start from 4 to 6 months. My first child, Nolan Jr., we call him JR or Bubba, he is about to be 3 next month. Oh my God. But he started sleeping through the night randomly when he was like 7 months old. We were PCSing over to Okinawa, Japan, which is where we live now from the States. And he'd never had his own room yet because we were moving and my husband was on deployment. And it was just all sorts of random stuff. So that was actually his first night in his own room and he just slept through the night. So I had no idea what to do with the twins because we live in a 2-bedroom military base housing, and you know what? We're 5 people. So they sleep with us. I have a crib and a pack and play in my room, and I'll get into that. But I wanted to say sleep training around 4 to 6 months is when they say you should start. We started at 6 months. It seemed like a good age. They were more than doubled their weight and everything, so I feel like that's when you should probably start. Everything says to sleep train your bedtime routine before naps, which I did not like the sound of at first. I was like, no, I don't care if I'm getting up every 2 or 3 hours during the night. I just need them to take more than a 20-minute nap during the day. But you guys, I tried it and it worked wonders. You want to start with nighttime training before you start with bedtime, or yeah, before you start with nap training. So you want to go with your bedtime routine, start that and start night training. I want to say 2 nights. On that 3rd day, or even probably that 2nd day after night 1, however you're feeling, that's when you should start your naps. But you want to have that first night of routines. You don't really want to care about the naps during that day. The option we chose was Cry It Out, or it's also called Extinction. We chose this because they were going to be in our room with us, so we needed them to be able to soothe themselves back to sleep like that, because we sneak in there at nighttime to go to sleep. We do everything we need to do down here. Washing faces, brush our teeth, we shower before we put them down, and that's been working the best. It's really up to you. Most of my stuff is all geared towards that because it's the only thing I chose. But I was always kind of like about Cry It Out until I actually did research. And you guys, it's not mean. It seems mean and horrible, but it's, for us, it's the most beneficial. It's what we chose. There's a bunch of other methods you could look into, but this is mostly about Cry It Out. So what you really want to start is you want to establish a bedtime routine. Babies are just like us. We need to wind down. You can't come home from work, eat, drink, and then go straight to bed. Like your body, you shower, you brush your teeth, you put on pajamas, you turn the AC down, which is also a good tip. Turn your air down. Cooler air helps you sleep better. But they need a bedtime routine to know, oh, hey, it's time for bed. Oh, we did this last night. We did this a week ago. And then I went to bed after. And it starts to like wind their minds down, and they understand, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to bed soon. And they learn how to basically cope with themselves and put themselves back to sleep. So you want a bedtime routine. Ours is we do a bath every night for my oldest and every night for one of my twins, Emerson. Grayson gets a nap every 2 or 3 nights because he has eczema and we don't want to make his skin worse than it is. But JR gets a bath every night because when you're a 3-year-old, oh my gosh, dinner, no matter what it is a freaking mess. And he goes to preschool 2 days a week, so just get all those germs off. Then everybody gets lotioned up. We all get diapers, we brush everybody's teeth, we read books, put JR in his bed, turn the light off, and we leave. And we take the twins into our room, and they are already dressed and changed and all that good stuff. And I tandem nurse them. And then right when they're about to fall asleep, I just nurse them till they're full, and my husband grabs one, I grab one, we put them in their rooms, and we leave. We do silence at night. I needed silence to sleep. Nolan needs silence to sleep, so we have absolute silence. None of my kids have liked a white noise machine. I have friends who absolutely swear by their white noise machines, and it just never worked for us. Try it out if you want. There's positives to it, there's cons to it, so just kind of weigh that for yourself. We do use the lullabies on the monitor that I have that automatically comes on it. We use those for nap time, but we do absolute silence at night. I will tell you now, if you're doing cry it out, night 1 is going to be horrible, and night 2 is gonna be worse. Night 3 is probably gonna be just as bad as night 2 or night 1, and then night 4, you will get a wave of relief. Night 4, it starts to get so much better. And you guys, the kids, my twins, are putting themselves to sleep within 10 minutes of laying them down within a week and a half. Sometimes it'd be like 25 minutes, 30 minutes of like falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. But that's also good. When they fall asleep, then they wake themselves back up. When they put themselves to sleep, they're teaching themselves how to calm themselves down, how to put themselves to sleep. And eventually, like it is now, maybe they whine for a minute, maybe a minute, just because they don't want to be put down, they want to be cuddled, and then they're asleep. The misconception with Cry It Out is that you put your kids in there and you're ignoring their basic needs. You're not ignoring their basic needs. You put them down, fed, changed, cuddled, and dressed. And you know what? They have everything they need. They just don't want to be put down. They want to be held. They want mom and dad to hold them, but if they have all those basic things met, they will learn how to put themselves to sleep, and it's better for you and them in the long run. I got a question asking if we use sleep sacks. No, we do not. We use the Halo sleep sacks to keep their arms in when they were really little. Probably after a month. Before that, we just did swaddles at night. But my kids started rolling really early, so we couldn't do that anymore. But they were also co-sleeping with us at the time, so now that they're by themselves, we just use the footed pajamas, and we usually just put a pair of socks underneath, and it's usually the thicker ones. It's not like a thin, some of the Carter's ones are really thin. We use like the thicker ones. We really liked Gymboree, but they actually went out of business. Old Navy has some really good ones too. That's what we use for bedtime. Another question I got was, do my twins sleep in the same crib? We tried that for the first night, and you guys, it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. They would roll on top of each other. They would be kicking each other. They hated it. They needed their own sleeping spaces, and I totally get it. So you know what? We have a pack and play and a crib. We are using my oldest is crib with his mattress, and he got a toddler bed in a different, like a waterproof mattress, because potty training soon is just gonna be, he needs the waterproof mattress. And my other twin has the pack and play, and I just ordered, I think it was the brand Milliard. It was a tri-fold mattress, which is like super soft, well, hard, firm, whatever. It's nice, and that goes in his pack and play, so they each have a nice mattress to lay on, and they're not laying on like just hard cardboard, because that pad that comes in the pack and plays sucks. So if you are using that, just be nice, get the little mattress. And the other question I had about my twins was, do they wake each other up with their cries? They did for the first like 2 nights. At least that's what I think was happening. I definitely suggest getting a video monitor so you can watch this. I kept a sleep log. That's what the Peaceful Sleeper said to do, to write down when they're waking up, when you put them down, when they put themselves back to sleep, when they wake back up again. And I did that, and it was really easy to see, because I could go back for the night before or the night before that, and I could look, and I could be like, my husband be like, oh my god, they just like have 5 minutes cut off of crying time until it's basically nothing now. I definitely don't keep that anymore, and I just put it in notes on my phone. It was just the easiest and most convenient way for me to do that. If you're a pen and paper kind of girl, do that. I'm usually a pen and paper kind of girl, but I always have my phone with me, so I just did it that way. Along with bedtime routines, consistency is absolute key. You want to be consistent. So your bedtime routine, do that every night. You don't have to do a bath every night, but you have to have 2 or 3 things that just reminds them, oh, you know what, it's bedtime. We started nap training on day, we had already done night 1 and night 2, and that next day we started with the naps. You guys, naps is a lot more harder than the sleeping, mostly because we had no nap schedule. They basically slept when I could get them to sleep. It was nothing predictable. We didn't have times. I was starting at scratch with naps. My husband would come home and I would say, Nolan, they haven't slept at all today. Like, they just would not sleep. So naps was harder, but now it is so easy. For naps, I'm gonna go ahead and insert a screenshot right here of something from Taking Care of Baby's Instagram. This is the one thing that didn't quite work for me from the Peaceful Sleeper, is she had like 3 naps during the day was the schedule she was having, like, have you follow. That didn't work for us at all. The Taking Care of Baby one for 2 naps during the day works perfect. So they wake up usually between 6 and 7 every morning. And then they have a 3-hour wake window, which works perfectly because right after, on Mondays and Wednesdays, when I take my oldest to school, I drop them off at 9 and by 9:30 usually, because they wake up between 6 and 7. So they're going down between 9 and 10 is a perfect time, and they take their first nap. That first nap lasts 1 to 2 hours. It's usually closer to 2. She says don't let your naps go past 2 hours. They've had 2.5-hour naps sometimes. If they wake up, they'll put themselves back to sleep. But they're usually up. I always wake them up by 2.5 hours. Then another 3-hour wake time. Another good tip is you need to keep these awake times exciting. Don't just lay them down on the ground or whatever. Try and read to them or give them a new toy, or, you know, turn baby lullabies on. A little TV is not going to kill your kid. But you want to make sure you're keeping those nap times or wake times exciting, so that they know a difference, especially in the beginning. It's not as important to do that now, I think, because they've really like fallen into a schedule. But in the beginning, awake times need to be exciting, and then nap time is time to sleep. The other thing for naps is you need a condensed version of your bedtime routine. So for nap time, I just change them. I sing a little bit to them when I'm changing them up on the changing table right there. And I carry both those suckers upstairs, and we tandem nurse again. And they're starting to get, oh, okay, because I do not tandem nurse them during the day. It just doesn't work for me. It's too much work. I have a twinsy pillow over there in the corner. I just don't use it during the day to nurse anymore. They're at an age where it's just easier to grab one. But they're also almost 8 months old, so they don't really eat randomly throughout the day. It's more on a schedule, right when they wake up if they want, and always right before their naps. So that's what we do. They know, oh, we're tandem nursing, it's time for bed, and they start to tell themselves it's time to go to sleep. It's just like bedtime. They need to wind down. They need to have some sort of cue that, you know what, it's time for a nap. And then they take another nap. And the second nap is usually harder. The first nap is pretty easy. They'll go right down. But that second nap is where you're usually going to get the most kickback. Sometimes that second nap, if I have a lot of errands I need to run, doctor's appointments, which we have a lot for Grayson because of his skin over here, you know what, sometimes that nap is only 30 minutes. And that's fine. They'll doze off for like 15 minutes downstairs when I bring them down. And that's fine. I don't let it go past 15 minutes. But if they have not taken a good second nap and they come down here and then they start to doze off, 15 minutes is fine. That's what I do. But then you want another like 3 to 4 hour chunk of time in between that second nap and when you're getting ready to go to sleep. So that's what we do. Those 3-hour wake time windows have been a lifesaver. It's game changer, overall perfect. If your kids are around, I would want to say 6 months is when you probably start that. Those 2 naps are great. So like I said, naps were a lot harder to get into a swing with them than nighttime, and it definitely took longer. Naps being consistent, that probably took between 2 and 3 weeks for them to really you know, go to sleep when I lay them down and not cry. Sometimes I still do. It just depends. You know, they're not going to be perfect every day. They're babies, but it definitely, naps took a little longer. I want to say they were completely sleep trained within like a week and a half max. And that's, when I say completely sleep trained, that's 5 minutes or less of just barely any whining, just kind of like protesting it or talking to themselves a little bit before they were asleep. For the first 2 weeks, Emerson would sometimes randomly wake up around 2:30 a.m. and he would just scream just because he wanted to be picked up. That's all it was. I would not move in my bed because I wake up when I hear them cry. I was so still in my bed and I would just wouldn't even open my eyes. I would register that he was crying. If my husband was next to me, it obviously wasn't super early in the morning yet, and he had to go back to sleep, and I just ignored it, kept my eyes closed, registered it was happening, and I went back to sleep, and so did he. And he doesn't do that anymore. They both sleep completely through the night. We're in bed by 8 o'clock. 7:30 to 8 is our like golden time of putting children in their beds and cribs and going downstairs. Our kids used to be, the twins used to be up with us until 10 o'clock at night. We would keep them up with us down here because we just weren't ready to sleep train. They weren't ready to be sleep trained, but you know what? They're only little for that long. We suffered, but now my husband and I get to sit here and cuddle, and we have our nights back. Kids can be so stressful on you, especially on your marriage, and now that we have our nights back, that's our time. You guys, our marriage has gotten just, we're closer again because we had that individual time with each other where we don't have to focus on our kids anymore, and it has been amazing. I think that's everything on my list. Oh, I had one more question on my Instagram. Let me look. So Ashley said nothing specific, but I can't wait for the video. My boys wake up 3 times a night and still co-sleep. Your boy's about the same age as mine, right? That's what I think. So definitely if you are looking to do cry it out and do co-sleeping, girl, trust me, those first couple nights, I was like, no, and I want to bring them into the bed with me. I want them to sleep with me. And don't sleep shame if a parent chooses to co-sleep. I did with both kids in the beginning, or all 3 kids. I don't need the negative comments. Nobody needs that. Keep your opinions to yourself. Whatever works for you, great. I fought my want for them to sleep with me, and instead I just enjoyed my bed with my husband again. And yeah, maybe it's time to stop co-sleeping. Whenever you're ready to stop co-sleeping, you have all your tips here, because that's what I did. I went straight from my bed to their own beds, and it was kind of a shock, but they sleep so much better now, and they sleep through the night. They weren't sleeping through the night in my bed. I was right there, and they just knew if they woke up, I would fix it. Angel asked, how is it possible that you have the most amazing best friend ever? I have no idea, but you're leaving me, so. And Holly or Haley, oh, I'm gonna butcher that, said, have you dealt with any sleep regressions? So no. I have the Wonder Weeks app, and I definitely looked at that, and they should have had a couple sleep regressions by this point. But I definitely think sticking to that schedule and making sure that that last wake time is awake when they're awake, before bed, after the second nap, definitely helped. They understood that, you know, it's time to go to bed, and I think having that bedtime routine and just getting it going in their mind that, oh, we're having a bath, oh, we're getting our diapers changed and our lotions, and we're getting read to, and we're getting a song. I think it really does help. I think a strong bedtime routine is important. We don't, you know, your kid's only little for so long. My husband and I do not go out to eat at dinner time. If we do, it's between 5 and 6. We make it way before the twins need food or wafers or JR needs to eat. We don't go out at night. We don't have date nights. Nobody else puts our kids to sleep. If we want a date night, we go out during the day. We get lunch. Doesn't happen very often. I think it's happened twice, but that's what we do. You make some sacrifices. We'd rather have a strong sleep schedule and just sacrifice some date nights at night when we're both tired anyways, until the kids are older and can basically do it themselves. We don't really trust anybody else with our sleep schedule, especially because we are so far away from family that we would trust with our kids. So sleep regressions, no, I do think that a strong bedtime routine and them knowing they have a schedule could help with that. But even if you do deal with the sleep regressions, I think you should just stick to your schedule. They'll eventually end the regression. They'll get back into their routine. Like I said, I do cry it out, so it worked. It was quick. It's the quickest method, they say, to work. I definitely recommend it for twins, because you don't want to go in and try and soothe one twin and then wake the other one up. It did take about a week for them to learn, like, oh, he's crying, I'm going to sleep through it. But my kids definitely are more, especially Emerson, if I went in there and rubbed his back to try and soothe him, it would just make him more angry when I left again. So that's why I decided, based on my kids' personalities and how they are, cry it out worked for us. Good luck with sleep regressions. I'll definitely let you guys know in a vlog if we deal with any, but the ones they should have had, it hasn't affected them, and I do 100% credit that to the sleep training and their schedule, taking care of babies, and the peaceful sleeper. Cannot recommend it enough, but I was not willing to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars for a sleep training program, and that is why I just used their free materials. I did some researching online. Instagram is seriously your best friend. And you know what? If I could do it with 3 under 3, you can do it. We all can do it. Moms are capable of so much, so are dads. I think another strong point to remember is get your partner on board. You both need to be 100% on the same page with this. You do not want to be going in saying this is what we're gonna do and your partner have no idea. You want to both be partners in this. You want to tackle it together, like be happy about it together. The struggles are yours together. Definitely have your partner, if you have a partner, on the same page with you. If not, you've got this, you can do it. I hope my tips helped. I hope you get your full night's sleep again soon. It is so much better. When people ask me, when my pediatrician asked me recently when I went to go see her, she said, so how's sleep training going? Because I saw her like the day we started nap training and it was night 2, which was the worst night, and I said, oh my god, this sucks. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry. When I went in and said they're sleep trained, I just said it like that. I was like, oh, they sleep through the night? And she said, shut up. I said, yep. So you'll definitely be able to bask in the glory once they are sleep trained. But if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them down below. I will get back to you. I will answer them, or I'll make a video on it. I really try my best to get back to all my comments and talk to you guys because I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I have a cleaning video coming soon. I have vlogs coming, so make sure you subscribe. We're definitely back on a regular schedule. Hopefully, you know, regular schedule means there's gonna be a video or 2 a week. I can't tell you the days. It's just too much. Alright guys, I was just editing and I have a couple notes I wanted to put in here. I was mentioning how they were co-sleeping with us and I was waking up like every 3 hours with them to nurse, and the next night we did cry it out, and I thought you guys might have some questions since they are exclusively breastfed. They're actually, everybody's up, including my husband's home from work. And I wanted to add in that my pediatrician said that they don't need to eat in the middle of the night after 6 months. I think that also has to do with doubling in birth weight. I would just ask your doctor about that before you start this. And the other thing was I did not pump. I did not relieve my discomfort for that night, and I think I was just a little uncomfortable for 3 nights, and after that my breasts regulated and I wasn't feeling engorged or anything afterwards. So if you're worried about that, breastfeeding, that's what I did and it worked for me. But as always, thanks guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, got some good tips and tricks, and I hope you're sleeping soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.